Hi, welcome to In a Pickle Knitting, Vlogtober number 9. Today is October 9th, 2018, and my name is Donna. I'm coming to you from Manassas, Virginia in the U.S., and this is a short vlog with a children's literature related to the fall season and also a little fall craft. So thanks so much for joining me, especially all of you who have come back every day. That's so nice. And if this is the first time you're visiting, I hope you enjoy the book and the little craft that we have. So let me start with the book. Our book today is called Those Darn Squirrels by Adam Rubin, and it's illustrated by Daniel Salamiri. This book is beautifully illustrated. Well, beautiful isn't the word. It's comically and just charmingly illustrated with these squirrels, and just some of the little things that are added as little details in here. See, this is the town. Now, this is a really old house. This is the scene of our story, and it's the outskirts of town. There's a little house, and the man who lives in it, Old Man Fookwire, and he is a grump. He's older than the house, and the house is pretty old. He sneezes dust, and he doesn't like anything, puppies, pie, anything. He's just a grump, except he loves to do one thing, and that is to paint birds. He really loves birds. And squirrels are ingenious little creatures who love to steal food from bird feeders. Mr. Fookwire hopes that he can keep the birds to stay this year, not to migrate. It's autumn time, and he doesn't want them to leave because he enjoys them so much and he wants to continue to paint them. So he decides if he feeds them lots and lots of food, they will stay. Well, that inspires the squirrels to come up with all sorts of plans to get that food, and they are successful until the final plan that Mr. Fookwire comes up with to protect his feed. But the birds then get all the food, and they leave anyway. So I'm not going to tell you the ending of the story. It has a cute ending and just very, very clever. This is not the only book in this series. I know there's one that has the darn squirrels and a fat cat, and I think there's another one too. This is the only one that I have. But considering it's an autumn in the story, and squirrels are a big part of our year long, but also you think of them in the fall to start, where they start gathering things together to survive the winter, and then of course the birds migrating. Those are all things you can talk about with the fall season or autumn season. So that is our children's literature book today, and it's a funny one, and children laugh out loud at it. So if you like funny books, or you and have a young person in your life who likes funny books, this one might be one to check out. Now, our craft today is a very simple little project. It's a cute little fabric pumpkin, and it has a cinnamon stick for the stem, and it's made out of a circle of fabric and stuffed with fiberfill. Although I think you could maybe put something scented in there. If you had a little cheesecloth bag or one of those little organza bags, you could put some spices in there, and that might make it have a nice smell. I did not do that, but let me tell you how to make this really simple craft. You're going to start off by deciding what size you want it to be. This can be made a large variety of sizes. The size circle that I cut to make this one was the size of a dinner plate. So if you had more fabric and had something to make a larger circle with, you can make bigger ones or smaller ones. So first of all, you're going to need a piece of fabric, and then you're going to want to decide what size and see what you can find that's circular. So I used a dinner plate here. And the other materials you're going to need something to mark around your circle. I use a friction pen, or I think that's how they're pronounced. It is ink, but it with heat will be removed, although I understand it comes back if it's cold, if it gets cold again, but that won't be a problem for this. So I just traced around the plate with that. And so you're going to need a pair of scissors so that you can cut your circle out, and a pen or something to mark your circle. You're going to need a tall cinnamon stick, rather heavy, long, heavy-duty needle that has a sharp point, and you're going to need some thread. I used buttonhole twist thread. You want quilting thread or something pretty strong because you're going to be pulling on it, some fiberfill, and your iron. So to begin, iron your piece of fabric and then trace your circle with your pen and using your plate or whatever you have as a guide. Then you're going to want to use your iron to have your fabric right side down and turn up between 1/4 and 1/2 inch of the fabric towards the, you'll be turning the front to the back and press it down with your iron. It doesn't matter if it varies from place to place, being 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, it really doesn't matter. We're just trying to not have any raw ends sticking out, and this will prevent raw ends sticking out. Pumpkins aren't, you know, totally rounded, so if it's a little bit bumpy here or there, that won't make any difference. So after pressing down the it's like pressing it towards the back, a little hem. You don't need to do it twice, just once is fine. You're going to take a rather long string of your buttonhole twist or your thick fiber, thick thread like quilting thread. You could probably even use dental floss, depends on the type floss that you use. And you're going to thread it with, I would say, doubled about 12 to 18 inches, and you're going to want to double it and knot it, and then pick a spot and start doing a running stitch. And this running stitch can be fairly wide apart, I mean not an inch, but 1/4 of an inch, and it can vary. It doesn't matter if they're all the same. So go all the way around until you have done the entire circumference of the circle. And now you're going to pull on the end with the needle and get it to where you have an opening, I would say an opening a couple of inches wide, and then you're going to start to stuff it with your polyfill and get it stuffed, not quite as much as you're going to want it stuffed, but you know, fairly full. Then pull really tight till you maybe have an opening of about an inch, and then at that point you can try to stuff more down inside the pushing towards the sides to get them really filled out as much as you'd like. And then secure your thread with a knot at the top, and you want to have it pulled about 1/2 an inch if you can get it that tight. And then I use some tie a knot and just stuff the ends of the thread down inside the pumpkin. Then I used hot glue. You could use a different kind of glue, but I used hot glue to go around the edge, kind of the inside edge of that opening, and then pushed my cinnamon stick down in and held it closed until that hot glue hardened. And I had left a little tiny space there where the cinnamon sticks came together, and once everything was dried and cooled off, I put a little bit more hot glue and tucked down a couple of little leaves that I had left left over from something else, and it's done. So I think they make cute pumpkins. Of course, any kind of fabric that you think is pumpkin-y will work just fine. Mine was a batik that I had not used for its intended purpose, so I decided to make mine out of that batik, and it's soft and squishy, and it's going to go along with some my little scarecrows sitting on a bale of hay. So that is our craft for today. I hope you'll give that a try, and have a great day. Thanks for coming back, and I'll hopefully see you tomorrow. Scheduling, I have a few problems, so if you don't see me tomorrow, I can hopefully get 2 things done the next day. Bye-bye for now.